Astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore, after an unexpected stay at the International Space Station ISS for more than 9 months, have returned to Earth and splashed down off the coast of the American state of Florida early on Wednesday. Due to the significant loss of body mass and muscle strength during their time in space, both Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore will need to undergo 45 days of rehabilitation to help them adjust to life back on Earth. During their rehabilitation period, the astronauts' health will be closely monitored to ensure there are no issues such as vision impairment, muscle loss, balance problems, or bone density loss. The astronaut returned to Earth aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon spaceship, which also carried American astronaut Nichole and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunov. The spacecraft streaked through the atmosphere before deploying parachute to slow its descent, leading to a safe splashdown off the coast of Florida at 3:27 a.m. according to Indian time. Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore had flown to the space station in June of last year. The mission was originally planned as a short trip to test Boeing Starliner spacecraft on its first crewed flight. However, the Starliner developed propulsion problem which made it unfit to fly them back to Earth. As a result, the spacecraft was returned empty. Now I will leave you with the visuals of this entire story from NASA.
At 2:57 p.m. Pacific time
of the Dragon spacecraft making its way home back to planet Earth with the Crew 9 astronauts on board. Once again, this view is coming from the WB-57 plane. That heat shield we can see doing magnificent work as it works to
Freedom, SpaceX, Comcheck.
All right, we're going to start hearing the SpaceX crew there from
Deployment.
quickly 1,000 feet.
Deployment.
Deployment is space 100 miles. Why that plasma builds up on the exterior will slow it down from 350 to about 119 miles per hour. We can see
15 kilometers. Brace for drogue window.
we can see seat rotation happening inside the capsule. Great to get those first views of our crew missiles going. Drogue, we'll see the main above the
3 p.m. inside Dragon Freedom as it returns back to Earth. We are awaiting the drogue deploys. This view coming from the WB-57 high altitude plane. And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment.
Drogue descent rate nominal.
You can hear the crowd here.
Visual on 2 healthy drogues.
The crowd here very excited as Dragon Freedom continues to make its way back to planet Earth.
Next up, we'll stand by for the main deployment of the parachutes. The mains are quite a bit larger. You'll be able to notice the difference on your screen once they deploy, and they continue to ensure that the Dragon spacecraft slows down even further. As we mentioned, Freedom will be traveling 16 miles per hour when it splashes big time this afternoon.
That view is from inside one of the buckets where the parachutes are located. So we see a great view there of the parachutes begin to inflate fully. 4 beautiful, healthy names. Now awaiting here, Commander Nick Hague.
Copy, 1000.
As we heard right there, Commander Nick Hague will be calling out the Mueller and provides more of those.
Meters.
Coast Pacific, we do use of a calm, glass-like ocean off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Crew 9.
Live view from miles away using, they were just of Crew 9 capsule just minutes ago was going over 17,000 miles per hour and now gently coasting to
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
panels that enclose where the drogue parachutes are located. We can see those fast
Freedom,
boats.
SpaceX is go for recovery personnel to approach. Expect personnel alongside in the next few minutes.
Freedom copies.
We can see those fast boats. We weren't kidding when we said they were fast. While it does take about 30 minutes for the main recovery vessel to make its way over to the capsule, these fast boats will be doing a couple of things simultaneously. A couple of them are going to be working to retrieve the parachutes that you see in the background there of this drone shot. Those parachutes will be retrieved from the ocean surface. We want to make sure we are able to pull those out. The recovery vessel there closest to the spacecraft is going to be performing some safety checks. We can see there they're using an instrument that is basically working to detect if there are any hypergolic vapors or fumes that are still residing in and or around the Draco thruster nozzles or outlets. The hypergolic fuel, which is necessary for on-orbit burns to maneuver the spacecraft, to ensure that no more hypergolic fumes or vapors come out from the spacecraft. They'll also place harnessing around the spacecraft that are required in order to lift it out of the water. Go ahead, Sandra.
Continuing to get some views of the recovery personnel, both the main recovery vessel, Megan, as well as some of those fast boats that we've discussed previously. It looks like just a beautiful day there out off the coast.
Today, earlier, splashdown was nothing short of spectacular, and we were stationed about 1.5 nautical miles away from the splashdown zone and had great visuals here on the recovery vessel, Megan. We actually saw a little of the smoke trail as the spacecraft was coming in, and then moments later, we spotted those drogue chutes, and this was quickly followed by 4 healthy white and orange main parachutes. We then tracked Dragon all the way down as it...
There between... Oh, Dolphin Cam back again. We can see that the Dragon capsule and the recovery vessel, that distance is closing. Again, this is just one more step as we continue to work recovery operations for Dragon Freedom. And we anticipate the lift of the Dragon capsule to occur here in just a few minutes. Now, once all of the rigging is on the capsule and it's hooked up to the recovery vessel, we will see the hydraulic arm, which is that kind of like bridge-like structure there at the aft end of the recovery vessel. We'll see that articulate backwards to will be placed with the astronaut
Potentially view
the recovery.
So splash down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time with NASA astronauts Nick Hague, Butch Wilmore, Sunita Williams, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov. They're now working through procedures to hoist this
Dragon located
today. Is now from actually on site.
This view is straight down the
Come into frame for some of that support. The ship has a maximum capacity of a little. And there you have it. The side hatch is open for the first time since September.
We can see some of the protective equipment there that was brought into frame that will help protect the edge of the side. Generally speaking,
and there we do see Crew 9, some happy waves, smiles all around back on Earth.
Generally speaking, we have the individuals in the 2 center seats. We can see folks on board clapping as our first crew member.
And that is NASA astronaut Nick Hague, commander of Crew 9, now out of Crew Dragon Freedom. Some smiles, thumbs up, and a wave. Can't get any better than that.
Yeah, that is one happy camper, that's for sure. As we said before, it is standard procedure for all of our long-duration crew members to receive assistance upon egressing from the spacecraft. We basically help them move off of the recovery deck and into the private medical quarters for their initial consultation with.
His first space flight. Spent 171 days in space alongside NASA astronaut Nichole.
Looks like we're getting some cheers and clapping on board as Alexander is slid down the little ramp and placed into the mobility aid. Got an on-time splashdown. Oh, it looks like we're getting our next crew member here. That is none other than Sunita Williams. Big smile, big waves. She, like her other crew members, now will be assisted onto the mobility aid.
There we have it. Some waves, some thumbs up, and some smiles.
Definitely seems to be a theme.
Wilmore and Williams were fully incorporated into the space station's Expedition 72 team and began research and other work aboard the station along with the other crew members.